Live. It's Friday, and we are Children's Authors Unite. And we are here to talk about children's books and telling stories. And we have a new children's author with us this evening, Tom, the Man in the Hat Hobbs. And a funny story about Tom is he ended up in jail in the Bahamas. And well, he's going to tell you a little bit about that story and how it led him to what he's doing for children's books now. Tom?
Oh, I'll take that as an open invite. Sure. Yeah, I'm Tom Hobbs. I'm in Denver, Colorado, and I have traveled the world. I've made it to all 7.5 continents now. 2 years ago, Nassau, Bahamas. My dear friend and sweetheart, Marjane Taylor, and I spent an hour and a half in the official state police department of Nassau, Bahamas. We were picked up from our hotel, drove about 7.5 blocks, driven. That's a good grammatical word. Driven. However, we were picked up and delivered to the police department. Hour and a half later, we were taken away back to our hotel. We posted a few pictures on Facebook. You can search for find it. All right, the backstory. See, that was a good hook for a storyteller, right? A dear friend, also entrepreneur and speaker, was Darren LaCroix. He and another dear friend, Mark Brown, both professional speakers and world champion of public speaking for Toastmasters of various years, were there to share and empower others the power of speaking at the police department's community room, because the head of police, who also is a Toastmaster, had invited us there and had about 70 people there to learn and improve themselves. And yeah, we were there. But as a storyteller, as an author, you too can write and share your story in the moment. Crime scene investigator. Open your story in the moment of the incident, because people want to, what's next? What would happen before? And that's what we did. And on Facebook, social media, it hooked so many people in a fun way that they wanted to learn more. And a few people have now joined Toastmasters, that safe environment to practice and builds confidence in speaking and leadership skills. That's what Toastmaster teaches. And now, my dear sweetheart, Marjane has stepped forward and gone beyond her group or beyond her club and tell stories that hook people, engages people, and want to go, wow, I want to hang out with you more. Yeah, when people have confidence in sharing their story or speaking, other people want to hang around with you. And when you do it with a little bit of humor, like we call Find Your Funny Toastmasters, a group that several in this room is a part of, they go, wow, I can practice finding what's humorous for me and others in a safe environment. Yeah, that's why we put carpet in the room, because when you fall, you don't skin your knees. Multi-language people, I'm so honored for meeting one of our friends is Koki Cuba. He's from Japan. When they speak 2 or 3 languages, you're not quite sure how humor applies for this group. And with Find Your Funny, we find that environment to practice that. But multi-language people, I'm so honored because I'm a lazy American. If you didn't know. Now, there's several of us that when you're lazy and not practicing multi-languages, you think others are, shall we say, less than. In reality, they are more than, because they practice, they're listening, they learn our grammatical correctness and can analyze it quicker. So they help me be a better speaker, better communicator, shall I say. The biggest thing though, I'm kind of rambling here. The biggest thing each of us can do as an author or storyteller is learn and practice storytelling in front of kids at your community schools, because you'll learn how quickly the audience hears your words. They'll support you in your oopses, like if you all of a sudden distract from your story and you're off and you go, wait a minute, where did Cinderella go from here? They'll help you. But when you practice live, you'll learn how to stay in the moment. The teachers will start engaging because they're in the back of the room doing their email, but they will all next thing get up there with you. But they will realize that all the outside person, a storyteller to the kids, is someone who's not a teacher, not their parent, but someone they didn't know, who's willing to show up for them for a few moments. And that changes their lives.
That is true. And speaking of changing lives, Stacy
Yes.
is changing lives for kids with curly hair. And I wish, honestly, you don't see it here, but I used to have hair like Stacy's. And I remember hair washing night when my mom would torture me combing it out. And if we had Stacy's books, we wouldn't have had to go through that. So, Stacy, tell us how telling your story is helping kids.
Well, thank you, Francine, for that introduction. So most people don't realize that I have a story. Stacy learned to love her wavy hair. You can too. That I wrote and illustrated, and it's actually an autobiography. It's my story of what happened when I was young, and my mom convinced me to cut my wavy curly hair as opposed to teaching me how to take care of it. And the random thing is, my parents both work for Vidal Sassoon, and they used to get their hair cut at the salon in Vidal Sassoon in Beverly Hills. So I was never really given the tools and the techniques on how to take care of it. And it was kind of a trial by error process growing up. We didn't have role models growing up. We didn't have a lot of products. There was just not a lot of information on wavy curly hair, just in general, and also specifically for children. So it wasn't until I was adult and I was straightening my wavy hair, but I had a lot of damage to my hair and I just didn't feel like myself. And I decided one day that I was tired of adding waves back into my hair with heat tools when I have natural waves. So I worked through the process of trying to figure out how to get my waves back. And it took a full year and then another year on top of that to really get my hair where I wanted it to be. And while I've been helping a lot of adults navigate this process, my thought was, who's helping the kids? And so that is where I created the Frizz Girl series. And this is book 2 that just happens to be sitting next to me in the series, called What the Frizz: How to Take Care of Your Wavy Curly Hair. Find Your Hair Type, starring the Frizz Girls. And what we do is, in this book, is one of the first things we have to do is figure out what our hair type is. And what I'm finding out is there's a lot of Gen X, millennial, and zillennial women who grew up the same way that Francine and I did, without having knowledge and product and how to take care of it. There's a lot of parents that are having girls that either they don't have wavy curly hair, maybe they have straight hair, or they have a child that's biracial that has wavy curly hair and they don't understand how to take care of it and how to properly care for it. And so by creating these books in the series, we now have role models. So on the cover of the book, there is a role model for every hair type. So hopefully you can see. I can hold it straight. So we have wavies, we have curlies, curlies with short hair and curlies with long hair and medium length hair. And then we have coily and kinky hair. So we cover all the hair types because we don't want anyone left out. And hair is universal no matter where you are in the world. And it's really just giving them the tips and the tools that they need to be able to take care of their wavy curly hair. But it's also not just a book. So it's a learning engagement. So every book, in the back of every book, there's a fun little quiz in the back of the book. So either parents or even educators like librarians and teachers can use these questions in the back of the book to ask their students a question. For instance, what color is your hair? So a teacher could ask, what color is a kid's hair? And then if there's a classroom of like, say, 25 students, and every student answered, and then those answers were put on the board, now the teacher can actually use that as a math lesson. And so there's a question is, what do you like about your hair? So now a parent or a teacher or even a librarian could give this as a writing exercise to a child or multiple children and say, I want you to spend 5 minutes writing down on a piece of paper what you like about your hair. Make sure you have correct spelling, punctuation, and you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So it can also be an educational lesson as well in the book. And then all my books at the back of the book have something fun. And we have a cool little coloring sheet. So every book has a coloring sheet. So you can let the child be as creative. You can use markers, crayons, colored pencils. You can use paint if it's their own book. It doesn't matter.
Well, not if it's a library book.
If it's a library book, obviously no writing in the library book. If you own the book outright, yeah, you're more than welcome. But if you are borrowing the book from the library, or if it's a school book, like in your classroom library, that is something that is not to be done with the book. You want to love the book and take care of it.
Thank you, Stacy. And if you want to know more about Stacy's books, you could go to our website, children'sauthorsunite.com. You could download our free activity book there and get one of Stacy's coloring pages. And you could check out all the authors in Children's Authors Unite. And now another Children's Authors Unite. What's that, Tom?
Stacy, you just reminded me. I was invited to the alopecia areata conference.
Yeah.
Which is those who lose their hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's a disorder, and it can be as a youth or others. You can empower others with your book by having no hair. How do you deal with it? How can you add a wig or other things? One of the biggest concerns they have is people trying to figure out, what's your problem? You look different. Well, you can say, I have alopecia areata. My hair does not define me. So we have these little communication cards exactly to help that. So you can incorporate what you're doing there for those who have big hair to no hair, to those who use a hat or a wig. So yeah, you're empowering amazing things there, and just open that up to the other uniqueness. That's powerful.
That is. And okay, speaking of wigs, Rosemary loved Stacy's books because it helped her with her magic hair. So let's talk about magic hair now. Rosemary, what do you have planned for National Clown Week?
I am so excited because in 1971, President Nixon signed a proclamation to make August 1st, the first week of August 1st to the 7th, National Clown Week. So this week, I am going to go out with my husband, who is not a clown, but I'm working on it. And we are just going to go out and bring joy to wherever we go, just with laughter and to make people smile. We went last year to Chick-fil-A and brought clown noses. And Mike gave one to a man. He's like, I don't want this. And when he left, he comes over with the nose on, standing like this, and said, what do you think? And he wore it the rest of the time he was at Chick-fil-A. So making people smile is just wonderful. I try to do it all the time, not just a special week, but Clown Week is August 1st through the 7th. And I have learned a lot from Stacy with my magic hair. And when she does her YouTube videos of how to comb it, to not make it frizzy, some of the products. So it works on magic hair too for anyone who wears magic hair and thinks that they're too frizzy. Stacy has a way to fix that.
I think Rosemary needs a book about clowns, teaching the kids how to become a clown.
I think that would be great.
Okay, if you're watching this either live or in replay, if you want to see a book about a kid becoming a clown, type clown in the comments, and that's your vote that Rosemary needs to write that book.
And watch my Facebook this week because we're going to have a lot of videos on there.
That's right. How can they find you on Facebook, Rosemary?
Rosemary Mazur on Facebook.
That's Mazur.
Right.
Okay. And now, this is my second time this week talking to Mark right here on live. We weren't at 5 though last time. We were at 4:30. Tuesday at 4:30, Mark, and wait a minute. It's like an hour ahead because Mark's Central Time, he's in Oklahoma. But anyways, on the East Coast at 4:30 on Tuesday, Mark was on our Believe You Can live stream, and we talked pickles. Mm-hmm. Might be wondering why we were talking about pickles. Okay, wait. Down the hat, Mark. Down the hat.
Da 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 da.
Okay. We're talking about sharing your story. Well, Mark shared a young man's story who co-authored a book with him called Nikolai Piccoli. And this story is amazing because it teaches so much that a kid needs to learn. Let's see, if I remember correctly, there was science, there was research, there was
math.
Tell us.
Yeah, there was some math in there. There's talking about research skills, adventure. It's talking about being in the elementary school. There's just it talks about a little boy dreaming about what he wants to be when he grows up, what kind of a pickle mobile. He's dreaming about writing a book, and he actually wrote a book later on. And so there's just a lot of different concepts that are in the book. And I got to speak on one thing though about the clown. Though I got to go back to the clown thing. My mom always said I was a clown. 2, my wife always thinks I was a clown. I'm a clown. And number 3, when I was a teacher, a second grade teacher, I used to do what Rosemary does, but I would do it in the school during cafeteria time. I would dress up with big wigs on my head, big glasses and stuff like that, and go into the cafeteria just to make the kids laugh. And so I think part of me is still a clown. Maybe that's something I should look into. But getting back to pickles, I love wearing pickle hats. I love wearing costumes, things that relate to my book. I do a lot of theme-related books. I've been writing since 2020. I wrote the Toilet Paper Caper of 2020, and it was about hoarding. It was about hoarding toilet paper and how people were being taken advantage of. So I wanted to teach kids about not the toilet paper issue as much as it was about the hoarding and how wrong it is, whether it's toilet paper, whether it's crayons, whether it's whatever. I wanted to teach a lesson about hoarding. And so I've always tried to stay in the theme related because I find that the schools and principals really like the fact that I do theme related books. They like the fact that my mantra is literacy, learning, and legacy. And the second thing is making a difference in the lives of children. Those to me are the most important aspects of being an author.
And you talk about getting these books out to the kids. Mm-hmm. And that is something that's near and dear to my heart right now, because I want to give books away. I was at an underprivileged school where the kids at Halloween time could not afford Halloween costumes. The teachers were using supplies in the classroom to make these Halloween costumes. The teachers were giving them the bags. The teachers were buying the candy. I was there with the Orange Park Women's Club, dressed up as Princess Francie and giving away coloring sheets to the kids. And the women of Orange Park Women's Club were giving away crayons. And I was thinking, wow, wouldn't it be great if we could give a book to every kid?
I agree with what you're saying on that, because I actually have, I do month of the military child. I didn't go out to the base and do it this time on donating books, but I actually donated for the last 2 years close to 190 something books to children who are military dependents for a month of the military child in the month of April. And to me, that is so important. What you were just talking about is finding ways to be able for authors to make a difference. And those children, when they get that book, you know, I give them the option of, I have 12 books. So I would put the 12 books out on the table, and I'd let the parents go through there just like a library and pick out what they wanted, you know, what book that they wanted, and I would sign it and all that. And I did that at the zoo. I think they had a zoo outing, and at the end of the zoo outing, the kids were able to, and the parents were able to stop by the table and get a free book.
And that's what I want to do. And that's why I started the Sparkle Feathers Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
What we want to do is raise funds to give books to those who can't afford to buy them. We're going to be doing a live stream at the end of August, and it's going to be like a little telethon. We're going to be entertaining. Rosemary's going to be doing some clowning and some puppetry, and we have some science experiments that are going to be happening. Maybe we could get the Man in the Hat to come and entertain us. We're looking for entertainers to come and entertain at a telethon. Ooh, find your funny. Do we know any comedians that might want to come tell a joke or two? We're going to be entertaining 4 hours a day, 2 days in a row, with the hopes of getting people to sponsor a book or two for a kid. Now, Mark was very generous, giving away 190 books. A lot of authors can't afford to do that. But you could afford $20 to sponsor one book for one kid. And then we will buy these books and give them to the kids who really would love to have a book all their own that they could take home and enjoy. And color in the coloring sheet at the end of the book. Well, does anyone have anything else to say? We could brainstorm ideas on what kind of entertainment we could have. Any audience members have any suggestions or volunteers? So, Rosemary.
Yes,
You had a puppet out earlier.
I did.
Would you like to introduce him?
I did. And Tom, this could be
Yeah.
your mascot.
That's right. You did mention this puppet's name when you were talking, Tom.
All right, come here. You can
Here he
do it.
goes.
You can do it. You can do it. Let me get back up on my seat. Come on. Don't be. He's grumpy, Poppy.
He could use a little hat.
He can.
Oh, yeah.
There
He
you
needs
go.
a hat.
And I think he has a little bit of Tom going on here.
You might get sunburn out, you know, if he's outside.
Yeah, so he's grumpy, Poppy. Are you sending a kiss? You have to open your mouth to send a kiss. Do you know that? You don't want to? No. Well, can you send a kiss anyway? Mwah. That's good. You just want to sit here? Yeah, you don't know what's happening. Okay, just sit here.
I know he needs a pickle hat.
There you go.
Do you
A
want to
puppet,
hold?
a puppet
hold
pickle
up?
hat. Say that 10 times.
Can you hold up the book?
All right, he's
Look
holding
at that.
Nikolai
He's holding
Nikolai.
Nikolai.
Awesome.
You know, if he had a hat on, he'd kind of look like Mark.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, glasses, the mustache. I mean, get him a pickle hat and he'll look like Mark's twin.
You know what? I do see that resemblance, the glasses and everything.
Yep.
There you go. Let's see. Do I have the same amount of hair as he does? I don't know. Don't have much.
Oh, you have a little more hair than
Yeah, I
me.
have a little more.
Yeah, I think so.
He is yeah, but he's grumpy Poppy.
I
Yeah.
love puppets. They're so much fun.
He's kind of quiet today. He's kind of mad at me because
Oh,
yeah.
well, he just needs a dose of sparkle feathers.
That's
There you
what he
go.
needs. Yeah. No, you don't have to get him now. You can go get sparkle feathers later, okay?
Oh, that's right. He has his own sparkle
Yeah,
feathers.
he has his own
Yeah.
sparkle feathers.
Oh,
Sparkle
he.
Feathers has a lot of hair.
Yeah,
Sparkle feathers.
Sparkle Feathers needs help from the Frizz girls.
I think so. I think,
Just a little bit.
He has a little. Oh, he's showing you his hair. He's got some back here.
got a little dew going on.
Well, what happens when a bunch of children's authors get together? We play with our toys.
Hey, I mean, we go to all kinds of festivals. Like tomorrow, I'm actually doing Nikolai Pickle. I'm actually going to be going to a bookstore and dressing up like a pickle and all that stuff. So I'm excited to be
Where's it?
doing Nikolai Pickle tomorrow.
Well, where is it? So anybody in your
It is,
neighborhood.
well, if you're around Shawnee, Oklahoma, it's from 2 to 5 p.m. at the Lost Pages Bookstore. Lost, L-O-S-T, the Lost Pages Bookstore. It's a brand new bookstore. It was opened up in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Oh.
Tomorrow, tomorrow is our last day at the Soki Center. So I'll be in downtown Bowling Green at the Soki Center from 8 a.m. to noon with the Frizz Girls, all our books and our products available. And that is our last Saturday there.
Tom, do you have anything going on this weekend?
This week I can stay home in Denver. First weekend in several. Yeah, it's awesome to go out and make contacts with people. But what I'm getting, and it's been past 2 hours, was emails back from people from the past 3 conferences that just has me sitting on the back porch drinking coffee and bringing a tear to my eye for people to go, man, you shared a story. You shared my story. And it's the first time I feel comfortable being seen and understood. So I encourage all of you, collect your emails, respond to them, let the people know that you're there to help them share their story or empower themselves from being bullying or learn how to comb your hair that looks the sharpest. We don't know the words that we're sharing that is affecting others. So show up.
Yeah, I think being an author is important too. You know, doing those kind of things, doing events. I'm going to actually be at Tinker Air Force Base, the base exchange next weekend. So I'll be seeing a lot of military families and all of that. So I'm excited for that. So it's certainly important to show up and be friendly and all that.
Yeah, I just pulled up your website about militaries and families and showing up for the kids. That's awesome. It's beyond the Flat Stanley program. It's showing up in person. And anybody who's hearing this, you can reach out to Showing Our Strengths. We're happy to help people do that. We've now, and with another few hours, we've built a method that online somebody can answer 3 questions about themselves or their child and their personality, and we can craft a 160-word story for them that empowers what they're doing, shares with the world who they are, and it's their story. And that's just actually a lead magnet to send them to how to craft a book that can be about them in 32 pages. So it's not difficult. It's only the willingness I say willingness, as authors and puppeteers and clowns to show up for somebody else. Get out of your own, yeah, I mute myself, out of your own way to show up for somebody else in print or in person. Person is even grander. It empowers the kids, empowers the families, and reduces the fatigue on a family from having to explain what's going on for their child or their situation. Yeah, we can all do a little bit, and it makes a big impact. Cheers.
And I just put the link to showing our strengths in the chat if you want to learn more about that. Tom will be back to talk about it some more if you want to know more. Come back next Friday. Some of us will be here again. We'll have some more different people with us. So come back, because that Friday at 5, you never know who you will see and what we will give you to laugh about. So until next Friday, bye.
Cheers.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.